Okay, I wasn't actually going to record my thoughts on this chapter because I thought I didn't have too much to say that I hadn't already said in previous, chapter talks or anything like that. But I watched Murphy's review and I watched Morge's review. Particularly Murphy's review got me thinking a lot about more about the chapter, and I realized, hey, I do have some points I want to bring up. A lot of it might be a little bit of reiterated from her or ideated from her, but there were some things I wanted to bring up myself too, that I noticed in the chapter. So I thought, yeah, you know what? I'll talk about a few things. I'm not going to really talk about the chapter cohesively as a whole, just kind of some random points that I thought were worth noting that I haven't noted over and over again in previous chapter videos. Yeah, so sorry this one's a little late, but I decided changed my mind on not recording anything. So here we go. Yeah, so I think the biggest thing here is Loki, of course. We're real, this is solid confirmation on what myself and a lot of the fandom has been thinking, is that he is, a much more sympathetic figure than we're, narratively led on to believe, and that, he's a tragic, misunderstood figure. And I am shit ready for Loki to be one of my favorite characters. I feel like that's kind of what is coming down the line. I hope. I just sense the energy when I'm like, oh, something's tingling here. Something's tingling with this being one of my favorite gonna be one of my favorite characters. But I think the interesting point to bring home here is that. What does he say? First of all, I love that Luffy is sitting on Loki's horns. That means he trusts him completely, So what I here's what Loki says. Dude, already, the Weeping Warrior thing is. There's no way I can forgive him. He insulted my mother and killed her father. Dude, already, the Weeping Warrior thing has gotten old. You're so drunk on all this personal drama, you can't even see it for the forest for the trees. Don't tell me you're really like the rest, thinking I actually killed our father in cold blood. You don't really buy it, do you? Yeah, so obviously, I think he was killed by the God's Knights and framed, or he killed him to stop him from doing something in service of the God's Knights. I think that's what it's leading to. Of course. But I think what's interesting here, though, is that it is careful to show us a flashback from Haryuden's perspective right before showing that sympathetic touch of Loki being mean to him and very cruel. So, first of all, we see the panel of, oh my god, what's the king's name again? Harold, saying, "You're both my precious sons. I want you to get along when I'm gone and do what you can to support Elbaf." But then we cut to Loki saying, "How can I call such a weak runt my big brother? You're just a bastard. You'll never be Dad's true heir." And then he says, "Haryuden, everyone knows you got your mom's got dirty blood." It shows him smiling. But what I'm wondering here is that when you remember things, first of all, in this panel, they are surrounded by people with swords. It is unclear whether they are fighting those people together or they are being attacked. And I think that's important. Because it might, if they are being attacked, it might be Loki saying these things to try to instigate them either to, oh, they're on our, Loki's taking care of it. Loki's taking care of it. We won't attack him. Maybe they were attacking Haryuden. So, for those very reasons. And if Loki was like, I got this. I'll take care of this bastard that won't be true heir. They'll be like, okay, bye. And then Loki might apologize or leave. Protecting him. But I think the other side of it could be that did I lose my train of thought here? like the other side of it could be that they're in an incredibly tense, stressful situation, and Haryuden does something frustrating, and Loki fucks up. He snaps. He says something nasty that he shouldn't have said. It's like Snape in Harry Potter when he snaps at Lily, like that kind of energy that like kind of shatters their relationship, even though it was one moment of weakness. Because I think people are like that. If you haven't said something you completely regret that was really cruel in your life, I'd be incredibly surprised. It's happened to everyone. It's happened to me. I've done this, Deeble. Other people have done it to me, and I've come around to forgive them. It happens in moments of weakness to everyone. So I think that could be the other lens of it as well. But I think those are two important possibilities to note in terms of keeping Loki on this sympathetic path that I think that they're trying to go down here. Because a lot of people I saw saying that, like, he did this thing, he's bad, even if he didn't kill Arrow. Like, no, like, people are complex. And I think Loki is shaping up to be an incredibly complex character. I mean, after all, one of my favorite characters in recent memory is Arcane's Jinx, and she is an incredibly complex character who has done some bad shit, and I still love her, so interesting. And interestingly enough, Loki kind of reminds me of Jinx a lot, funnily enough. Yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to say about Loki there. Murphy pointed out something interesting that I don't think anyone has touched on other than her. So I thought I'd reiterate it here in case some people are seeing this video and not watching, but I'm giving her all the credit. And that is the woman working at the Walrus School. Let's see if it says her name anywhere here. The really ugly one. She assigned the students to draw all of their worst fears conveniently on the same day that Killingham, who has the ability to turn those fears into tangible entities that can physically attack and cause damage, was participating in this God's Night plan. So Murphy made an interesting point that, like, that seems sus. That seems very sus. It could be nothing, and I'm very expecting it to be nothing, but it's an interesting point that if it is something. I'm trying to... So, like, we got some more great characterization for the God's Knights, which I think is awesome. Like, they're, like, a really, like they're a group that I think is being introduced perfectly in the sense that, like, there's such a fear of introducing a group like this as, like, oh, there's another faction of the government that operates in this way that's incredibly powerful and overpowered, like introducing them so late in the game. But I think it was very smart how Oda is introducing them in the sense that, he's showing in their personalities why they wouldn't have intervened in anything up to now. They don't want to do any work. They are incredibly lazy, but they are so powerful that this mission specifically enables their laziness, so they can sit back and relax and cause insane amounts of damage and trouble while doing nothing. While in other situations, like Egghead or any Slobby, it may have been, that would require direct, tangible effort, and I don't want to put in direct, tangible effort. So that's kind of like interesting, like an interesting way that Oda is kind of covering his ass there by characterizing them so well. More reasons why Oda is one of the greatest stories ever. I think that's about all the points I wanted to touch on right now. Kind of all over the place, but like I just wanted to get those observations down because I think there are things I haven't said yet, and I think there are things. There's like a pun in here that could be a reference to Pokemon. I haven't read the original translation. I've only read whatever manga pin source is from, and also the TCB translation. I thought that was interesting, but I think that's all I gotta say right now. There might be more I think of, and I'm like, damn, why did I include that? But we got a another chapter in a few days, hopefully, right? There's no break next week. So maybe we'll learn more. Thanks for listening.